This podcast is a member of the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. Visit voicesofwrestling.com to hear the rest of our great podcasts, as well as show reviews, columns, opinions, and updates across the world of wrestling.
Hello everybody and welcome to the TJcast. I'm Joel and Damon, joined by David McDonald. How's it going, David?
It's good. We're all hyped for Wrestle Kingdom. We just came off I'll say an interesting press conference, and we are through with King of Pro Wrestling, which I thought was a good show. So there's plenty to talk to, plenty of pro wrestling. A little sleepy again. We're sleep deprived here on the East Coast with being a fan of New Japan, but in many cases it is worth it. In some cases, maybe the jury's still out.
First thing I wanted to say, Damon, is just to mention the Typhoon Haiyan, which is really terrible. I'm having experienced a typhoon myself. Back in 2016, I was stuck in the middle of Typhoon Moranti, and I know how devastating they can be. So our thoughts do go out to everyone that is affected personally. Hope all our friends over in Japan made it through okay with not too much damage. And at SamGhurst3 asked us on Twitter, do you reckon Tony Khan will let me borrow his weather machine?
Yeah. I will say, I can confirm, because during the same nonsense with flights and delays and planes being canceled, I had my own travel woes. I had to get a hold of ANA during this time, and they said, expect wait times, of over an hour on the phone or 2 hours, and I felt sorry for those people. Those people trying to reroute those planes because they were doing everything in their power to do that. Sometimes weather just gets in the way, and it messes up plans for sure. To call it mildly, and then some of the pictures of the flooding, and it's just a sad thing, man. I hate that panic, I guess, that where it's like, oh my God, the weather's bad. It doesn't seem like it's going to get any better anytime soon, and the water's rising and all that shit. So I hope everybody made it okay, and I hope the damage is minimal, and I hope you guys are going to be back on your feet in no time. I know you will, but it is heartbreaking to see some of those images of the flooding. Just oof, God. So fingers crossed everybody made it out okay.
Yeah, it is really quite frightening and upsetting when you start seeing water coming through the windows and the doors into your home. Right. Because, your home is your safe place, your special place where you expect to, everything to be okay, where you can go after a long day at work and, everything's fine. And then just, it's kind of like that's being invaded or violated. And it really messes with you. So, seeing what happens in the New Japan dojo and everyone working so hard to clean that up and try and salvage what they can, it did resonate with me. And hopefully everything is on the mend now.
Yeah. Did you see the rugby team, the Canadian rugby team? They had one of their games canceled. So in lieu of that,
they were helping out, weren't they?
Yeah. I thought that was a great job by them. Excellent job by that Canadian rugby team. And then they got the win, right? So I know the media loves to make sport be this Band-Aid for the world, and it's just they did it with 9/11, with the Mets again. I think it was the Mets and the Yankees game, I think. It was good to see, just some hopefully as they'll say, smiles on faces for just a little bit, just to kind of get their minds off of it. And again, King of Pro Wrestling, I think, helped in that as well. And I know I heard Kevin Kelly literally was, half an hour either way, and he wouldn't have made the beginning of this show. he's in a t-shirt, casual Kevin running into the arena just in time to make the broadcast. So again, a lot of travel issues, a lot of travel woes. But even with that said, I thought King of Pro Wrestling turned out to be a really good card. I think in the end, some of the changes were even better than originally was planned. And then, we come out of it and we're inching even closer and closer to two nights at the Dome and a third night on the 6th for the enhanced Dash show. So it's going to be a fun time in Tokyo.
Just a couple of quick news items before we dig into the meat. CMLL are reportedly pressuring companies to not use Dragon Lee. New Japan, we know, are still selling Dragon Lee merchandise. They're selling coin purses with Dragon Lee's mask. But it seems likely that he will have to change his name because our understanding is that CMLL own the Dragon Lee name. And he'll probably still be working with New Japan, just not on the same tour as the CMLL guys. But just seeing that CMLL trying to get other companies not to use him. I guess ROH didn't get that memo because they seem to be trying to milk him for everything that he's worth. They're trying to get him on every single show that they can. So your thoughts on this? You think we will be seeing Dragon Lee continue to work with New Japan in the future?
I absolutely do. And it would be silly for New Japan not to. He's, to me, one of the shiniest toys, for lack of a better term, out there that is available. And again, this is a company that trusted him enough to put the junior heavyweight title on for a decent amount of time. No, I would lock him down. Like I said a couple of weeks ago, I would lock him down immediately and try and put his name to some paper. He's apparently a bit notorious for not being a guy to sign contracts, but I mean, I don't know where that's come from. But hey, do what you can, New Japan, to lock him down because to me, he's just a talent. And he makes everyone around him better. So no matter where you put him. So yeah, if we can find a way to do that, I think that'll be the smart thing to do. And again, it's not like it's Joe Flip Flop that we're trying to sign here and ruin a relationship with CMLL. And I don't think this is a ruining relationship kind of thing. To be truthful, I really don't. And if we're getting into pro wrestling pettiness, and pro wrestling can be fucking petty, it's just keep him off the CMLL tours. He won't work a Fantastica Mania. Okay, great. Woe is me, right? Okay. Bring him in when they're not around and then work around that issue, that uncomfortableness, that pro wrestling pettiness. Work around it. I think we'll be just fine.
So he has been announced for 4 ROH events in November. So if you want to see some Dragon Lee between now and the next time he's in New Japan, go and check out some ROH. The other thing was, it appears the rumours of Tomoyuki Oka's disappearance were greatly exaggerated as he re-emerged. The Great Okan and his partner Rampage Brown are the new Rev Pro Tag Champions. They're part of the Legion stable with Shah Samuels. So he's looking great. He's got his new gear, some cool new trunks. He's got the beard, the hair. From what I understand, he's going to be there until next March. So I guess if he is picking up some tips from Shah Samuels, then he'll be a shoo-in to be in Bullet Club for all the ref bumps.
Right, that's true. That's a very good point. Again, it's good to see. Again, we heard family issues on that one, right? So I know there was some concern. I know there's a lot of mystery when it comes to Young Lions and where they are and what they're doing and how they're getting over, and have they fallen off a scooter or a motorcycle or skateboards or rollerblades or whatever the case may be. Life-threatening injuries. All this drama with the Young Lions. But rest assured, we're okay there in England with new tag champions. So good job by us and good job by everyone there. Good.
And the news from today, there was a post King of Pro Wrestling press conference.
Ah!
Luckily, I didn't have to stay out late for it. It was a nice, convenient 2:00 in the afternoon for me.
Yep.
So the upshot of this, well, the first thing that I noticed was website's been up.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know. Can I just wear some egg on the face a little bit? I mean, I know I was pretty adamant in the fact that this was going to be some type of groundbreaking press conference, and how it was delivered to us was felt that way, and I think I kind of fed into it too. So if you woke up and you were disappointed, hey, I'm sorry you didn't get your massive groundbreaking announcements. But for me, I liked the announcements. I thought they were fine, but yeah, it wasn't as the foundation of pro wrestling did not buckle with this press conference. So sorry, everyone. I took an L on that one.
So what we did get is updated cards for Power Struggle. So this is Sunday, November 9th in Osaka Prefectural Gym, the Edion Arena. So here are some matches that have been announced. Damon, we have an Intercontinental Championship match with Goto challenging Jay White, Never Openweight Championship match with Ishii challenging Kenta, a special singles match between Naito and Taichi, and a special tag match with Okada and Yoshihashi facing off against Kota Ibushi and Hiroshi Tanahashi. Thoughts on those announced matches? They look pretty tasty to me.
It is tasty. I would say, for me personally, I'm probably most excited about, and again, in 2019, we're Damon saying this, it's Naito Taichi. I think that would be, for me, super exciting. White and Goto has me excited but concerned. Again, these matches are just exactly what you had planned out, Joel. The mini boss. This is Power Struggle should be just called mini boss, mini boss struggle, because this is exactly what it's turned out to be. Again, White's got to get past the ultimate gatekeeper in Goto. Naito's got to get past Taichi, and then what's the third one? I'm sorry.
Kenta has to get past Ishii.
There you go. All right, great. And I think that will be an awesome match as well. Awesome. Have we seen awesome yet from Kenta? But it's Ishii, so
it looked like the match, the London match, was going to get awesome until Kenta took that knock. He took a bad bump, and then the match kind of fell apart after that. But up until that point, I thought it was good.
Yeah. So I'm gonna lean toward this will be really good, awesome. Maybe full-fledged pants down. So it's a good show. On paper, it's a good show. Again, we're still a little shaky on exactly how this is all going to pan out when it comes to all these people wanting to be two belts come Wrestle Kingdom time. I mean, I think it's safe to say that we know Ibushi and Okada, as announced in the presser, will be on the 4th. So we'll see how it all pans out. We really don't know anything for the 5th right now, do we, Joel?
No, so that was going to be the next thing I say. It was official for January 4th that we get the IWGP Heavyweight Championship match with Okada defending against the G1 Climax 29 winner Kota Ibushi. And Okada said that he's not interested in winning the IC title, but he would do it for the novelty, and that he would be open to defending his championship on both the 4th and the 5th. So again, nothing official there, but I think enough groundwork laid for us to reasonably expect a title versus title match on the 5th. Do you agree?
I do. I mean, I think it's just... I mean, there is too much groundwork in the past, and now it feels like we have this little bit of a foundation where it's constantly mentioned. The opening spot where the 5th hasn't been announced, there hasn't really been anything announced aside from Liger's last match, and it's confirmed for the 4th that it's Ibushi and Okada, which again will be great. I mean, really great. So the end, it does leave the door wide open for some type of final on the 5th to have a 2-belt situation. Does that? Do you think that gives away the idea of the finish for the 4th?
I don't think so.
No.
If it is the 4 people that we speculated, Naito versus White facing the winner of Okada versus Ibushi, then I do lean towards it being Okada Naito on the 5th. But would it stun me if it's Jay White to go through? Absolutely not, given all the rub that Jay White's had. Would it stun me if they go back to Ibushi Naito because, they want to save Okada Naito for another time where they can properly build it up and there's time to sell tickets out of it? No, that wouldn't shock me at all. I think any of those permutations, so what we're looking at here, could potentially be on the 5th, it could be Okada versus Jay White again. It could be Okada versus Naito. It could be Ibushi versus Naito. It could be Ibushi versus Jay White again. So I mean, in any of those seem plausible to me. But if I had to put money on it, then I would say Okada Naito. But no, I don't think it spoils anything.
Okay, yeah. I go of all those possibilities. I don't think the word have to. You have to do X. Because I think you could fit any one of those scenarios in on the 5th, and it could definitely work. I'm leaning hard though toward Okada Naito. I think that's the match you got to go with. I do. And again, it just might be the fact that we're all waiting for this Naito thing to play out, but and there's really been people are hanging their hat on the fact that, well, you can't get any lower, right? They have to have this faction and team get a positive somewhere because you didn't see it at all in King of Pro Wrestling. You really didn't. You didn't see one positive thing if you're an LIJ fan coming out of King of Pro Wrestling other than, well, we've now reached a new low. Maybe this is our redemption course. I think it's Okada Naito with Naito finally coming back and winning. I don't know why I'm saying that because again, just briefly, Joel, LIJ couldn't get a fucking win at Power Struggle. They had to do a DQ finish. No one on that other side could have taken a fall. Fucking hilarious. I know they're trying to get Taichi over as the boss and all that stuff, but you could have done a lot of that post-match stuff after just to get the point over. But geez Louise, and then, they went over. It was fucking, oh boy. Poor LIJ fans. They never win. They're the Charlie Browns of pro wrestling.
Well, as Thomas Fuller said, the night is darkest just before the dawn. So I'm sure that's what Gado's been reading up on his English theology and history there. So yeah, that's what all LIJ fans are hoping for, I'm sure. But we'll see if that comes to pass. But what is going to come to pass is the retirement of Jushin Thunder Liger. And at this press conference, they have announced Liger retirement match 1 on January 4th. So that will be Jushin Thunder Liger, Tatsumi Fujinami, The Great Sasuke, and Tiger Mask with El Samurai against the team of Naoki Sano, Shinjiro Otani, Tatsuhito Takaiwa, and Ryusuke Taguchi with Kuniaki Kobayashi with a special referee Norio Honaka. So, yeah. Damon, your thoughts on this contest?
I mean, this is a hodgepodge of, and I mean that in an actual good way, of Liger's career. I mean, this is Liger's career in a nutshell with, his idol, Tatsumi Fujinami, and literally going through the years of feuds from the 90s with, Sano and Sasuke and even El Samurai being in the corner, Otani. I mean, it goes through. I mean, the first match Liger had at the Dome was with Kobayashi, in the gimmick. So it just runs the entire course of his junior heavyweight career. So from that nostalgia tug, it's going to be awesome to see all of these people in the ring for me. You see that it's a 60-minute time limit, y'all? There is no fucking possible way this match is going 60 minutes. No way.
Damon, it's probably going to take them 60 minutes just to get all of them in the ring.
Yes, I know. And I hate to say this. Again, I love this. I think it will be a moment that I will take to my grave. It will be an amazing thing. The best part about this is going to be the entrances. Let's be very honest here. I mean, Otani can still go. You see him all the time on, if I'm not mistaken, All Japan shows, and even if I'm not in the past, Wrestle One shows. And Fujinami is still in pretty great shape, to be honest with you. I saw him. Where did I see him? I saw him at a couple of years ago. I'll say maybe about 4 years ago, at a meet and greet in Rahway, New Jersey. I saw him, and he looked great then. I can't imagine him falling far from that. Sasuke, I don't know. I haven't seen Sasuke in a while. Tiger Mask, we all know. Taguchi. Sano, I'm not sure. He still wrestles sometimes. So I'm sure he could still do okay. Again, I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, well, how are they going to do this match? Right? And again, I can't imagine it being anywhere sniffing greatness, but this is not what.
How many bumps?
Right, exactly.
In total, do you think?
I think he'll get Liger, obviously, and I think Tiger Mask and San. I mean, when you're going through this list, you're going like, all right, who's going to be the workhorse? Who's going to be the workhorse of the team?
Okay, here's what I want. Tiger Mask and Taguchi to start the match.
Right.
And just refuse to tag anyone else in.
I mean, again, Sano still wrestles occasionally, and Otani, so they could be okay. But yeah, I think it's going to be a very safe style match. Excuse me, as I cough. But again, if you're a fan of Liger in any way, shape, or form, and have gone into Liger's history and watched some of these matches on World or on VHS or whatever the case may be. Again, this is a pretty cool moment in the sense that this is your life, Jushin Liger pro wrestling. I mean, aside from guys like that are no longer with us, they really pulled everybody they could to get in on this match. I would love to see Sayama in some fashion. I don't think Sayama would do it. I don't see why not. He does pro wrestling stuff. Maybe they couldn't get him. I don't know. That's the only one of that group where I'm just kind of like, it would be cool if Sayama would be there. Again, taking aside the people that are no longer with us. I'm hard-pressed to think, is there anybody else? There is. I would have liked to have seen Kushida there. I think that would have meant a little bit, too. Of course, we know that can't happen. But aside from that, I think they got everybody they wanted. So when we were getting information about, the presser, sometimes I think that the hype that I was giving out was directed for me because I know people knew that I would dig this. And I do. I definitely do. The only thing I'm a little bit peeved about, Joel, is last week we talked about how I'm not going to go to the 6th show. I'm not going to go to that Dash show or, whatever. But now, come to find out that the actual Liger retirement ceremony is now on the 6th. I got to get another I got to get more money out of me. God damn it. How am I going to sell this one? So I got to go to that. I got to go to that. How can I not go? How can I be in Tokyo and not go to that, Joel? You know what I mean? So I got to find a way to get there and tell my wife that we're going there. boy, am I gonna have a big credit card bill come for gifts and makeups and stuff like that because she's doing 2 wrestling shows. Got to go to that. So it's fun. I like it. I could see where people sometimes I don't know. People aren't really scratching their heads, are they?
No, not at all. I think for the people that weren't expecting a big announcement are pleasantly surprised by this. I just think people who had stayed up to 2 a.m. expecting something huge were disappointed. So it's just a question of your expectations going into this.
Right. And I apologize if I helped fuel that. If I did, sorry. But you'll be all right. Take a nap later on today. You'll be fine. Don't blame me. Jerks. All right, what else we got?
Also, January 5th. So there's no announcement of that, but there's a bit of confusion here because I don't know if Liger said that he wanted to face someone he's never faced before on the 5th as his final match, or if he wanted to face someone he's never faced before the 5th. So I was told 2 separate things there, so I don't know exactly what the truth is, but there's a possibility then that on the 5th, the second night, we get another Liger match, and that is his final match, just given the fact that the match we just talked about, the tag match, is named Jushin Thunder Liger Retirement Match 1. Right. So I think it's a reasonable expectation that there'll be a Jushin Thunder Liger Retirement Match 2 for January 5th. And if it is indeed someone that he's never faced before, I'm scratching my head, Damon, about who this could possibly be, because all the who's of the current roster he's faced before. You know, guys like Hiromu, Will Ospreay, even newer guys like El Phantasmo, he's faced all those guys in singles matches before. So is there anyone off the top of your heads that he's never wrestled before on the current roster that you think would be a fitting send-off for Liger?
In a singles match?
Yeah.
I mean, I think you would have to dip into the heavies, wouldn't you? Would you have to dip your toes into the heavyweight division if it's somebody he's never wrestled before?
Yeah, I mean, could it be, has he wrestled Tanahashi before?
In the singles.
Yeah.
I'd have to cage match it. Off the top of my head, I don't think so. I'm just trying to think of like an opportunity of where that would occur, you know, in what scenario. Because it's not like Liger was in a New Japan Cup in recent history. He was in G1, but that was a decent amount of time ago. And I don't think Tanahashi would have crossed paths there. I'm stalling so that you can look on Cage Match.
Yeah, I haven't found anything.
Yeah.
There's nothing that I can see. So, again, people are expecting Tanahashi versus Jericho. And I guess Tanahashi could pull double duty. You could have a singles match, Tanahashi Jericho night 1, then Tanahashi Liger night 2.
Yeah, I think that would be. I mean, that's absolutely doable if Jericho is a definite. I mean, it could be done. Is that a good final match for you? Are you feeling that?
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah. I mean, again, it is somebody who he hasn't wrestled before. He did specifically say, correct me if I'm wrong, that he didn't want to just have like a little. He wanted to have an actual competitive match, and you know Tanahashi will bring that out of you. Tanahashi's a guy that you know you're not going to have to keep up with it. I think being in the ring with a Will Ospreay or something along those lines, that's a hard thing to do for Liger. I would think at this age. I mean, the guy's in fucking incredible shape, but again, he's 50s. You know, he's not going to be into catching people 700 times. Tanahashi's a little bit more of a. He could work a better match, I think, with a Tanahashi. And keep it relatively safe in doing so. And I think Tanahashi's a really strong candidate for that final match.
Yeah, in terms of guys who can tell an amazing story in the ring without necessarily having to do anything death-defying, then, yeah, he's your guy.
Yeah. I would think so. So my money's on that. So yeah, let Tanahashi do his plunder with Jericho, night 1, and then just weave a nice little story closing match. And what you think Tanahashi wouldn't want to do that? He would jump at the opportunity to do that. So yeah, that's where I'm going. I'll go Tanahashi on that second night.
The other thing that is worth mentioning about the upcoming Road to Power Struggle, the Super Junior Tag League shows, is that Suzuki has continued to work these because, again, the rumours we mentioned last time that he was only sticking around to finish off the Liger feud and then he'd be off, and also little breadcrumbs that he hadn't been on the same team as Taichi. Not only is he working this tour, that it appears that he's tagging with Taichi most of these nights. So read into that whatever you will.
Right, exactly. I mean, again, it is what it is. I don't blame people for bringing out information that they know. And here's the thing, I appreciate that because I mean we do it a lot too, and we hope people can make their own decisions based off the information that we give. Sometimes we give information and you're going to have to read between the lines because we can't flat out say things, but we'll say things that hopefully help you deduce things. So, yeah, I mean, I don't blame that. But, yeah, it looks like that's not going to come to pass. So, there you go.
All right, so what have we got next? King of Pro Wrestling.
Yes.
9,573 fans, no vacancy. So that is up more than 400 from last year, which was the triple threat, the Kenny Omega. I'm laughing just thinking about it. Kenny Omega, Cody, and Kota Ibushi triple threat main event.
Wow.
So pretty impressive turnout, especially with the Typhoon aftermath, Damon.
Yeah, it was a good number. I mean, 400 people is nothing to sneeze at. I mean, just ask Ring of Honor. That was a cheap shot. That you know what? I take that back. Sorry, Ring of Honor. Yeah, and especially with the Typhoon, to be able, and again, even the people that might not have damage to the homes or have a situation like that, you do kind of run into people want to get out of the house, right? People want to get out of the house at that point and be like, okay, let's get back to life here. And I wouldn't be surprised if they had a decent walk-up with that too. People just wanting to, again, see a show and get some of that shit off their mind. So, maybe there is something to be said about sport and entertainment being a nice release from high stress situations like that. 400 extra people, I'll take that. And again, do you necessarily? I know people want to put the main event as, that's the reason why Sonata and Okada or whatever. And it beat Kenny, right? I saw a little bit of that too. I mean, I think overall the promotion helps that, right? I think the overall health and stability of New Japan Pro Wrestling helps that. I don't want to discount Sonata and Okada.
No, come on, let's do the maths properly. Okada is no. Let me try and work this out. I was going to say that he is Okada and Sonata are bigger draws than Kenny Omega and Cody combined. That's how it works, Damon. It's official.
Okay, all right, good. All right, I know people like to do that, and I can appreciate that. That's fine. But I think a lot of that is the overall health and stability of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Main event helps. Again, if you don't have something that's sexy, people aren't going to go. That's absolutely true. And again, it might not stick with us being this show, people who listen to this show. It might not stick with everyone that Sonata is this big, popular star with New Japan Pro Wrestling, but he definitely 100% is, and you could hear it by crowd reactions and all that. People wanted him to win. And again, maybe the weather had something to do with it in the sense that people wanted to get out of the house and watch the show. All these factors, I think, play into it. And just, sometimes it's just fucking happenstance that people are interested in going to a fucking wrestling show and they have the availability to do so. All these factors combined. So, hey, whatever it is, 400 people, great. That's significant. I think that's an absolute positive in a building that, looks good filled. Let's put it that way. It looks good filled, and it was.
We had some card changes as a result of the Typhoon. So there was no Zack Sabre Jr. and no Jon Moxley, which meant some things had to be shuffled around. That also meant that Taguchi and Bushi were pulled from the card. I feel a little bit sorry for Bushi. Not only was he pulled from King of Pro Wrestling, he's also not appearing at all on the Super Junior Tag League Tour. So I never thought I'd be one standing up for Bushi, but I can't help but feel he's slightly hard done by here.
Yeah. Why do you think that is? I mean, I think he's one of those people that stick out like a sore thumb of not being in this thing. I know obviously they can't find a partner for him right now, and I guess they thought anything would be weird. But I mean, it's pro wrestling; you can make up anything, I mean, you got Rocky and Taguchi, whose common thread are the coaches. Oh, okay, we're gonna get together. They could fucking come up with something to give him a partner. To me, Bushi is the one guy that sticks out like a sore thumb of not being in something like this. This is perfect for him. I'm left scratching my head thinking why unless he didn't want to do it. But again, what else is he doing? Painting his nails. What the fuck else? Come on.
Okay, so our first match was the El Desperado comeback match, where we had the returning El Desperado and Yoshinobu Kanemaru defeating Roppongi 3K, with Despi pinning Sho in 10 minutes 44 with a pinche loco. And I'm sure you noticed Despi wearing the bloodstained shirt that he got injured in, which that is something. What do the kids say, Damon? Big dick energy? Is that right? Is that an example of big dick energy?
You're asking me. I don't know. I think so. I'll put it under that category.
A fun little tag match, a preview of what is going to be, I believe, the semi-main event on tomorrow's Road to Power Struggle Super Junior Tag League tour at Korakuen. So what did you think of this opener?
I mean, I was very happy that they went with it, right, to open the show. Wasn't, expectations going in was that it was, going to be a 6-man. So to shorten it up a little bit, again, addition by subtraction, I think it made the match better and made it more interesting. The logical thing to do would be to give Despi and Kanemaru the win. Just, they're going to be seeing them a lot in the tag tournament. I think on commentary, they even made mention that, if you're going to put money down on people in this tournament, those are pretty safe bets, and I would tend to agree with that. And again, getting Despi back in the mix, having him deliver the pinfall to get the spotlight back on him, which is well done. He looked thick, didn't he? He looked like he thicked out, like not even like defined muscle, but he looked bigger, but not like he's been sitting around eating fucking cheeseburgers. He looked thicker.
Are you telling me he's going to move up to heavyweight? Is this a scoop?
No, we're done. We're done in the scoops biz, I think. There's going to be a press conference, Joel. moving El Desperado up. I thought he looked good, all things considered. I mean, what was it, 6 months on the shelf? I thought both. I love that tag team. I love Kanemaru and Despi. I really do. I always thought they were like underrated segments of the show. That again, we talked about that sweet spot second match. I liked the match. I thought it was good. I thought it was a good opener, and I liked the fact that it was just a singles tag, much better than it was a 6-man. Yeah, I mean, two really good teams. They could feud forever, and I'd be fine with it.
Yeah, it's great to see Despi back. He's one of my favourites. He was definitely in the running last year when we were doing our awards for Most Improved, so it was a really big blow to see him missing out on most of this year, missing out on Best of the Super Juniors. So really happy to see him back, and I love seeing him being a little shit in this match and pretending to be hurt. It's like, oh no, my jaw, and then attack them from behind. So and
a lot
to have
brawling.
You back, Despi.
Yeah, and a lot of brawling outside the ring. And again, it is a Suzuki-gun, so we tend to expect that. But yeah, I felt like there was even extra nonsense going on. You made mention just a moment ago, and it was a completely throwaway account, but my heart sank for a moment. We have award season right around the corner.
No, it's not right around the corner. We've got 2 months. Don't do this to me, David. I've got enough shit to deal with right now.
You know what I mean? I was just like, oh my God, we got award season right around the corner. I mean, it's not even.
Can we just give all the awards to Will Ospreay and knock it on the head?
I mean, seriously.
That's a joke. Don't
come on.
Don't quote tweet me.
Yeah. Fucking Joel with his flippy bullshit. It's right around the corner. I mean, it's October 15th. I mean, you figure November is when we start the voting, right? Oh my God, I can't believe it.
Comms Pete, I hope you stayed on top of this, because you were doing a terrific job adding this stuff as each show would go past. So I'm praying that you kept that up.
Oh, I beg of you.
Because I didn't.
No. All right, listen, we need help. Help us. We need help. We're putting out the white flag. Help us. Award season. This will be number 4, won't it? Be the 4th one. Fucking Christ. Man, this is becoming a big deal. Our awards. Big deal. It's really not, but yeah, I think it is. I tell you what, we got it's one of our, I will say this, our award shows are, I would say Wrestle Kingdom, post Wrestle Kingdom shows are number 1. Our award shows got to be like 2 or 3. When it comes to downloads and listens. So, I mean, some people put some stock into it. And again, it's voted on by you, the listeners. I think that's what's the most important thing, right? It's like, it's not we're sitting here. We give our picks of who we like, but for each category, but it's you who pick the winners. So I think that's what makes it a little bit more special, because it's the collective voice. And trust me, I know that people within the company, I'm not going to say use that as any gauge in booking decisions. I'm not going to be that delusional, but I mean they know of them. They're aware of them. So,
Kenny Omega did acknowledge it last year and said thank you to the listeners who voted for him. So, yeah, people take notice.
Yes, absolutely. All right, sorry to derail. Back to King of Pro Wrestling. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we got to stick to the important topic of the second match, Arashi Tallahatchie 20th anniversary match 4, with Tomoaki Honma and Tanahashi defeating the team of Toru Yano and Togi Makabe. Tanahashi pinning Yano after 9 minutes 43 with a high fly flow. My biggest takeaway from this statement is that Honma looked like absolute shit here.
Yeah.
And when you're in an undercard tag match, when Togi Makabe has to take the bumps the second match on a show, then you know that something's not right.
Yeah, you read my mind on that one. That is the same. Look, I understand why they're doing it. I understand the idea behind it, and Makabe being involved in Tanahashi's infancy in the ring. Oof. I mean, that fast forward button was in my hand, just ready to pounce on it. Yeah, look, it was quick. It was painless, like under 10 minutes. Second match, you saw the high fly flow. You're good to go, and away you went. So, I mean, I can't think of one thing where I'm like, oh, you got to go out of your way to watch that. Really, go to the end, see the high fly flow, and the hand being raised from Tanahashi, and that there's your highlight from match number 2.
Or don't just imagine it. Just close your eyes and imagine Hiroshi Tanahashi doing a high fly float on Toru Yano and pinning him. And you're good.
Yeah, I really do, and I hate to say that, and I hate to be that. It wasn't a horrible match. It was just like, we got to get in and get out, and just picture a high fly flow on Yano, and there's your match. Exactly right. And Honma.
You know what? He reminds me of a marionette, like a puppet, and there's someone with strings pulling them, trying to make him wrestle.
Yeah.
And I guess that's fitting because of the Kokeshi gimmick. But it's just like really awkward and clumsy and unarticulated, and nothing's landing properly. And it just seems like an accident waiting to happen.
I feel bad for him. I really do. Because you could see that the mind is working, but the body's just isn't. And that for a pro athlete in any sport, when that happens, that's a panic mode. He knows it. Here's the sad part about it. He knows it, and it's us sitting here saying it does him no favors, mind you. It is what it is. I mean, it's match number 2. We're going to talk about match number 2, and I don't want to harp on Honma. He knows it, but he should not be in a fucking pro wrestling ring, Joel. He's gonna really get hurt. He looks like it's at the point where I feel
or he's going to hurt someone else. That's what
right.
I'm scared of.
Right, that too. I mean, he's not even the shit that he isn't dangerous by any stretch. But even that stuff is like, ooh.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing that he got hurt from was not
right.
quote unquote dangerous, was it? It doesn't take a dangerous move for someone to get seriously fucked up.
No, it really doesn't. And you know what? Come to think of it, a lot of times it's the shit that you would think be like, that didn't look too horrible. It wasn't like flip, flop, dive, twisty, 360 to the floor. That ruined them. It was a back body drop. That's the shit. He doesn't look good. And I don't mean that in a wrestler of the year kind of thing, looking good. He doesn't look good health wise. And yeah, that is a concern. I'm worried about his safety and the safety of others because we know pro wrestling is that. You're trusting someone with your body. How do you think how do you think a person on the other side of the ring feels? I'm trusting my body with you. You look like you can't even fucking lift an arm. Huh. All right. I guess there's a lot of trust there. I do have my concerns with that one though. That one. People talk a lot about injuries and landing on the head and don't do that. Okay. Can somebody step in with Honma, please? And for the safety of everyone, can someone step in and make an executive decision on him to have him wants to come in be like a Shibata role where he's going to ringside and he's in the corner, or I got no problem with that. He wants to take a bump or two, okay, fine. Even in a multi-man tag situation, boy, is it fucking precarious. I don't know, man. Somebody's got to step in. Just for a little bit. He could get better, right? I don't know the full meta. I just know fucking right now it doesn't look good. And yeah, it's concerning.
Okay, we spent way too long talking about that match. Let's move on to the third, which was Shingo Takagi, Tetsuya Naito defeating Taichi and Doki by disqualification. With Shingo getting... one thing I liked about it, a small thing, but I like the entrances where there's just the contrast in entrances where Taichi's coming out, with his beautiful music and his lovely robe and his mask and his microphone, Miho Abe, everyone's looking all glamorous, and then there's Doki walking behind him with his big pole just banging against the railings, like bang, bang, bang. I don't know, that just really tickled me. I thought that was great. So just basically set up for the Naito versus Taichi power struggle match that we mentioned before, with the winner presumably getting an Intercontinental title shot on January 4th. And yeah, like we said, it's just really making Naito hit his lowest ebb here.
Really is. I mean, again, I know we got to warm up Taichi and make him look like a threat. I get that. But again, a disqualification. Doki couldn't fucking take a pinfall here. You know what I mean? How many disqualifications do you think we have during a calendar year in New Japan Pro Wrestling? And we did it here? Right? Okay. And then the absolute, the beatdown on Naito by Taichi. Again, for all the praise I give Taichi in 2019, it still is Taichi that you're getting your ass whipped by. He doesn't have the biggest reputation of being the ass kicker, but okay, I understand why we're doing it. I understood. Boy, I left that, and the first thoughts in my head were, fucking Naito looks like the biggest fucking geek here. He just looks like the biggest geek is the best word you can use to describe it. Boy,
I mean, if this is a guy that you are planning to have hoisting both your major titles on January the 5th, it's a really weird way of building him up.
It really is. I mean, I don't know. I mean, what's next? I mean, who does he get his ass kicked by next? Tiger Mask? Like what? How much lower can we go here? Fucking unbelievable what they're doing to this fan base. It is absolutely unbelievable. And Lij as a whole. You mean to tell me Shingo couldn't get a fucking pin? I mean, Naito couldn't get a pin? I mean, you're and again, I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but Lij didn't have a great night the rest of the night either. You couldn't give these motherfuckers a win? You got to go DQ and then have Taichi destroy Naito? Woo. Wow. Unbelievable to me. But hey, again, we're gonna bring him down. Joe, give me a scale of 1 to 10. The Super J-Cast scale of 1 to 10. This is where we weigh our drugs. What is this Naito thing going to happen?
Would it stun you if we get to Power Struggle and then him and Taichi having their wrestling match and then Taichi whips out the Iron Claw, pops him in the face, Black Mephisto, 1, 2, 3, Taichi wins, Taichi's going on to Wrestle Kingdom. Would that stun you?
Yes. It would. It would absolutely. It would just boggle my mind. Again, and the thing that I'm hanging my hat on here, Joel, is it's fucking Naito. It's not. This is not Jeff Cobb. It's a guy who you absolutely could build. How many times do I say, Joel? Not everyone can be the fucking IWGP Heavyweight Champion. I say it just like that too, right? I say it all the time, and that's a good thing. He is one of those guys that absolutely you could plop him in there and away you go. And trust me, he could, I feel like, be a guy that you could at least a year, maybe 2, work around that heavyweight title. Right? I really feel like you could. And right now, even after everything they fucking done, the guy, listen, there is something to be said here. The guy is fucking Teflon. You have gone out of your way to, I hate using the term, but after this, it's like, is this burying? Are we in burying mode yet? They've really gone out of their way to cut this guy off at every turn. Hopefully, with the hope, and there's absolutely zero, zilch, nothing that says that he's going to Wrestle Kingdom and winning the title. There really isn't. There's nothing in this booking that's telling you, aside from...
It's fan fiction, isn't it, David?
Yeah, it's absolutely fan fiction. Trust me, right? There's nothing there. Except, how could they do this? So they have to go this way, right? That's what we're hanging... That's what our hopes are on here, if you're an LIJ fan. That's what you're hoping on. That's where you're resting all your hopes. Fucking amazing. It's fucking amazing. So I ask again.
When Naito's last singles win was?
Last singles win?
Yeah.
When he won the title?
No, it was the 8th of August when he beat Jeff Cobb.
Okay.
In the G1 Climax.
Wow.
So, and I mean, it's assuming he beats Taichi, which is going to be November the 3rd. So you've gone from August to November with no singles wins. And this is a guy that you're trying to heat up for the big glorious moment at Wrestle Kingdom.
Right. I mean, I'm sure they have it all mapped out but it feels like we're running out of time. I'm in a panic attack over our fucking awards. They gotta turn this guy around from a guy who's got his ass whipped by Taichi to holding up that title at the end of the fucking night on the 5th. God bless him. God bless him. And again, it's Naito. So he is if they do this, and I'm right now I'm in the ifs. If they do this, what kind of a fucking pro wrestler is Naito to be able to bounce back from all this stuff, right? And I still think would be just as hot as he was before, right? I'm sorry. I know people are gonna fucking whatever. Hindsight being 2020. Do you think Naito should have beat Okada at the Dome?
Given how everything played out with Kenny Omega, how his title reign was basically a starting point to launch All Elite Wrestling.
Right.
You'd have to say, yeah, if you could go back. I mean, it didn't hurt the company in a business standpoint. They had a great year, but if I were to go back and redo that, then yeah, I think Naito should have won that one.
Yeah. Again, hindsight's 2020, but okay. All right. I'm kind of in the same boat. All right. There you go. I think we got the point across with Naito. It left me scratching my head. Again, a DQ. Nobody on the team could fucking pin anybody on that Suzuki-gun team. Really? And then, again, I understand the beatdown more than I understand the DQ. Beatdown had to happen. You got to heat up Taichi. But again, it is fucking Taichi kicking the shit out of Naito. All the clean jobs that he's done. Again, I hate to say, I can't get off of it. The motherfucker did a clean job in that Lowell tag match, and everyone's looking at each other like, what the fuck was that? Are you kidding me? Joe, it's on World right now. It's on World. They uploaded the shows. Just watch that fucking match. Clean as a whistle. Whew. Boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy.
Getting fired up here, David. 3 matches in.
I know. All right, let's move on.
Okay, 4th match. Nice gentleman to calm you down. A special singles match with Minoru Suzuki defeating Jushin Thunder Liger. 17 minutes 38 with a Gotch-style pile driver. And we saw Battle Liger for this one. I've heard a few people talking about the match saying that the way the match played out didn't really fit the build-up. That it was built up like a blood feud with two guys who promised that they were going to go out there and kill each other, but then had what I think by and large was a very sort of pure wrestling match with lots of grappling and exchanging holds and counter holds and catch as catch can. So what were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree. I'm in that camp. I mean, we spent weeks talking about, again, blood feud, and we're going to kill each other, and Liger apologizing, saying, hey, when we do this isn't going to be a wrestling match, and for those of you who are coming to see pro wrestling, I'm sorry, but this is not what that's going to be, and my apologies and all that. And the opening spot is that, they're doing the finger touch thing, ready to lock up. You're locking up, and then they're going for...
I want to jump in. I understand that does sort of fit the story with these guys and the Pancrase match that that never happened between them.
Yeah, it was 18 years ago.
To be fair, if WWE did something like this, then people would be ridiculing them for it. So I'm not saying that the same should apply here. I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm going on the record as saying I really liked the match a lot, and a couple points I'll bring up in a second. But the beginning was where it took me out a little bit. Like I'm expecting bell ring, and we're almost hockey fighting at this point. And we're going for ankle locks and shit, which was okay. All right, just seemed a little weird. But I really enjoyed the match a lot. Joel, both these guys. Here's the scenario. let's just take Suzuki and Liger out of it for a moment. You have two 50-plus-year-old guys that you need to go over 10 minutes, close to 15 minutes, singles match. How confident are you that you are going to get a match of this quality from those two 50-plus-year-olds? Pretty amazing, right?
I'm just trying to work out what's their combined age. It's like 106.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And we've seen guys on the wrong side of 50 go out and have high-profile matches in other companies, and it is ugly as sin.
Yep.
And it's very, very bad. But you're watching it, and it's like you're seeing two 30-year-olds having a match.
Yep.
Excuse me. And you think, sorry, why is this guy retiring again? He can still go.
I swear, right? And again, I do like the idea of, Suzuki is in the mix, and he is a little bit more weathered and able to take more of a beating than Liger. And at the end of the day, that's where Liger fell short. He just didn't have that in him to be able to force his way through, especially through a guy like Suzuki. Again, I hate to harp on the age and what they were able to accomplish in this match, but you couldn't do that in any other sport, could you? Could you say, okay, 50-year-old former goalkeeper for Chelsea, I need you to hop in net and play a half and perform at a high level? Could you imagine that? Okay, hockey player, you're 52. I need you to go out there for 2 periods and shut down the scoring line on the other team. Okay, 50-year-old basketball player, I need you to fucking play point guard again. You know what I mean? Yet, in this match, they said, okay, 2 50-year-olds, again, they don't have the luxury of a tag. And here's the thing, too. There really wasn't a lot of stalling, right? It wasn't like it was Larry Zbyszko in there fucking hopping out of the ring for 10 minutes arguing with fans. I felt like they went. They went for the duration that they were supposed to go. I mean, in the beginning, they're working holds, but for the most part, they're going. They're going hard. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I thought it was really, really good. I thought it was compelling pro wrestling. I thought the end was magical. I thought Suzuki getting on the knees, bowing at the end was... Look, Joel, there were people in the fucking crowd crying. Grown men crying. And I'm not going to lie. I got a little choked up myself. So, I loved it. I loved it a lot. And again, it might be a Liger bias, and we might be having a lot of Liger bias in the next couple weeks. The guy could fucking go right in the middle of the ring and shit, and I'll give him a standing ovation. I don't give a, there's going to be a lot of that. So bear with me on that. I thought this match was really good. And I'm like 3.5s. But I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I think bell to bell, I found it really compelling, but the story as well, and just the fact that we didn't get the fairy tale win for Liger, because at the end of the day, it's a junior facing a heavyweight, and Liger tends not to win these things. But then the show of respect at the end with Suzuki chasing the young lions out of the ring with a chair, and then bowing to Liger somewhat unexpectedly, and then Liger thanking him for the match afterwards. Yeah, like you said, it's very emotional, really great moment. So definitely one that I enjoyed a lot. And I was a bit surprised, actually, because when it was moved to 4th on the card, I thought, oh, well, we're going to get like a bullshit non-finish there, and they're going to have a rematch somewhere. So I was pleasantly surprised that they went out there and had a really good match. So on the topic of Liger, we've got Chris Charlton sliding into the mentions here on Twitter to clear up what Liger said. So Liger said he wants to wrestle as many people as possible that he hasn't wrestled before until January 5th. So January 5th, it could be anyone. So that opens up possibility for, Hiromu's or Ospreys or whoever. So thank you, Chris, for clearing that up.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. One of the things that I definitely want to mention here, and which is pretty historic, and again, for Liger fans, it's very significant. I mean, that was his last match in Sumo Hall. I mean, so again, Super J Cup, classic matches with Benoit. I mean, the list goes on and on about memorable moments in Sumo Hall. That was his. I mean, I cannot believe I'm saying this. And again, pro wrestling is pro wrestling, but this seems to be as legit as it comes when it comes to pro wrestling retirements. That was his last match at Sumo Hall. So significant. That's one that you want to keep in your collection because it is historic. And again, I think a really solid, fitting send off for him in that building.
All right, well, let's move on to the fifth match, which was the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship match with Will Ospreay defending against El Phantasmo. 27 minutes, 58 seconds with a Stormbreaker. And in the build-up to this match, El Phantasmo tweeted out what seemed like a really heartfelt apology, where he was talking about how he was helping clean up the dojo after the typhoon and how it gave him a sense of perspective. And he realised that he'd let the company down and let himself down, and he was going to go out there and have a proper clean match against Ospreay with no nut shots, no shenanigans, no interference, none of that. So I suppose we should have seen this coming. And most people did, to be fair, knew that he was working. But it was kind of a weird mix where the first half